you're a little unique in the previous podcast guest that I've had because you didn't you haven't spent your whole life in real estate. You actually you've got a lot of success in the corporate world. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have the world's most unique background. In fact, I did a YouTube video, Am I the World's Most Interesting Man, just because I got such a strange life. So
Yeah.
I actually I'm from Canada, Niagara Falls, and I actually started at age 13 working for Ripley's, believe it or not. I did 5 years with them, and then I went to Guinness World of Records, and I did 18 years with them and managed their rights in North America and did like some amazing things like met Michael Jackson when we gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award, had the world's tallest woman actually working for me. And then I was going to open a Guinness in Orlando, but then Ripley's, oddly enough, that I used to work for, bought the rights out and wouldn't give me a franchise. So oddly enough, I opened this haunted house, and I was there for 3 years, and it was scary. We didn't make much money, but I'd kind of committed to the guy who put the money up I would stay there. And then I got recruited by a company called iFly Indoor Skydiving, and I did over 20 years with them. And so when I first started out, the business was losing money, and we basically built it up to multi-million-dollar business. I opened 46 of 80 locations around the world, held various positions within the company, and then unfortunately at COVID, I ended up getting let go. Makes sense. I was in the development side. They were just trying to stay alive. And interesting part of that is actually the very first team meeting. So like 25 years ago, I was given a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read it and I went, wow, that's amazing. And I did, unfortunately, what too many people did. I put it back on the shelf and I just kept working. I loved my job. I loved what I did. I knew I should do something in real estate, but never did, and just kept working. I was like everyone else, afraid of toilets, tenants, and trash. I didn't understand it. And then luckily, iFly got bought out, so I got a payday. So I went from toilets, tenants, and trash for a while. I had no time, no money, and I had the no money excuse was kind of gone. And so I started looking into real estate again. And I went to several of those weekend webinars, and in-person ones, and finally stumbled across multifamily syndication. And it was like a light bulb came on, because that's what I've been doing my whole business career, taking businesses that weren't doing well, putting some capex, putting in some things, and then selling them for a multiple of your improvement. And I went, I never, how did I not see this? How did I not understand this? And then the rest is history. In 5 years, I've passively invested in 20 deals. I'm on the active side now on my fourth deal right now. So I've just dove right in. And I'm on a mission to make sure that nobody waits to buy real estate. So I always say, don't wait to buy real estate and wait, because I didn't start till my late 50s. And if I had started in my 20s, my financial situation would be a lot different. Real estate is a time game.
It really is. And I tell folks, I mean, I was like this in my 20s. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in my 20s. Or actually, yeah, I think I was yeah, but I was probably 20. And I'm so eager, and I'm a high D, I'm a driver, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm like go 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 go. But I tell younger folks, like, look, you can be patient, because look around the room. A lot of folks here are doing pretty well, but they're also in their upper 40s, 50s, or even people in their 60s, and they're getting their first few deals. Like, you've got a lot of time, and it doesn't take much. You can go out and do the multifamily game, and that's very lucrative, or you could do the single family game, just buy one house a year and just amplify that over years, and just let time do its thing.
Yeah. And time combined with all of the other benefits of real estate investing, right? So the tax benefits, the depreciation benefits, all of the things. So if you think about this, if you're 30 years old and you put $100,000 into a deal and it doubles in 5 years, that's 200,000. And it doubles in 5 years, that's 400,000. And it doubles in 5 years, that's 800,000. And it doubles in 5 years, that's 1.6 million. And it doubles in 5 years, that's 3.2 million. So think about this. All you did was continually reinvest, right? You didn't take the proceeds, you didn't live off of anything. Just think of the power of that. And if you could do that several times, your world would be completely different, right? Everything would just, but people don't think of it that way, right? They just don't. They don't get it.
Yeah.
And
And it doesn't even
society
have to
teaches
double
us.
in 5 years. I mean, it definitely can, but it doesn't have to have a long-term
Oh
massive
yeah.
impact on your financial situation whenever you do just decide to retire or wind down or maybe just take a big shift in priorities. So how did your experience operating in corporate America and iFly and the other ventures that you had, how did that experience carry over into real estate with what you're doing now?
Yeah, so oddly, quite a bit. Because I mentioned earlier in the podcast, so I opened new businesses, but we also took over existing franchises. And these existing franchises, I call them ma and pa run or small company run. They didn't have the systems and all of the processes, they didn't have enough capital. And so we would come in and buy one. We would spend some money fixing it up. We would spend some money improving the systems. We would spend some money training the management team, and then, of course, when they eventually all sold, they're a multiple of their value, right? So in the business world, we called it EBITDA, which is earnings before depreciation, interest, and taxes. In the real estate world, we called it NOI, but it sells for a multiple of that. And so I did that over and over again. We didn't always sell them; they did the one big sale. But increasing the value of a business is when you can increase their EBITDA 30% in a year, that's significant when it
Yeah.
sells them at a multiple. And we did that several times. And then another thing that was oddly similar is it's a very customer focused business I was in. And apartments and multifamily, especially, not all real estate is, but it's, if you do it right, it's very customer focused, right? So you've got teams of people working for you, and at the end of the day, I used to offer the freedom of flight at iFly, but at the end of the day, now I just offer a better place to live with a management company that cares about them, improving their properties, making them safer and nicer. So all of those customer service skills translate really well. And just running teams and running businesses. And again, in the business world, incremental improvement is powerful. In the multifamily and real estate space, incremental improvement is really powerful, right? If you can consistently get more income and control expenses, it's a powerful combination.